Okay, well, so I was born in Nigeria, right? And people don't usually know what tribe I'm from because they say like I look East African, like I don't look Nigerian. But
I can tell.
you can tell
Yeah, I can tell why.
why people
He's
say,
very good at that.
I was gonna say you out here reading me like that's so cool. But yeah, so I was born there, born in Abuja, and then I came to Canada 2011. My writing will take you through somebody's story, right? And that's kind of one section of the way I write. And then another section is, I call it spiritual downloads.
Downloads.
It's just times where you don't even know where to start, but you're just going.
Oh yeah.
You're just pouring. Well, like I said, Autotune is a tool, right?
Yeah.
So you have to be able to use it correctly and wisely. If I come out of that booth and I hear no, like, because I feel like with vocalists, Autotune, it kind of it like blurs, you know, like when people use face blur and stuff like that, and they use it a little too much, and you can tell. Like, I feel like it does that to the sound, right? And when, like, for somebody like me, you need to be able to feel the sound.
Yes or no, Nigerians will do anything it takes. Anything. They can even kill, they can even climb the tree just to make it in life, like success. Yes or no?
I think yes. Nigerians are very resilient. They will go through what they need to go through. Do you see the state of Nigeria right now? What do you mean? Like, yo, I remember when I had gone back and I seen like it had flood, right? They had like rain a little bit.
Yeah.
Bro, the next day, little kids were playing in the puddle of flood. You know what I mean? So it's just, I definitely believe that we have that spirit, and we have, not gonna lie, Nigerians have pride, okay? Yeah. Wow. So wherever they're gonna go, they're gonna let you know that they're Nigerian, and they're gonna let you know that they're here to stay. So 100%.
Yes or no? Most musicians, when they are beginning their career, they want a manager. Once they make it, they fire the manager. They think he doesn't do anything. You are just behind the computer and think, what are you doing anyways? Yes or no to that?
Hey, like, you tell me, like, is it really, like, do people do that? Because I can see why people do that, but it's kind of like, well, hey, see, I can't just, I'm a yapper, I told you. Like, I have like 3 thoughts that I want to. I say no.
You get caught.
It's a situation where if you are applying a lot of like instrumental backings and there's other like elements of like the show regarding your voice and stuff like that, then I would expect other elements of the show to also bring me a good experience.
Yeah.
What's going on, Afro Diaspora Nation? We are back with another legit sensational episode, man. You know what it is. We are here. We are live. Thank you for tuning in, man. You all know I repeat this so many times every single time we are here. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead. Click the button right now. Subscribe to the channel. We got a lot more crazy, unbelievable guests as tonight. Make sure you guys are ready for that. Let me introduce my guy. You know what I'm saying? Major. What's going on with you, brother?
The power in the details.
You like how I introduce you, though? You like how every time I always like introduce you? I always include you because I know.
Of course, man. You gotta introduce me. There is a reason why I'm sitting here, man. So introduction is what's important.
Well, you know what, though? I'm just happy because today, today was a very, very gloomy day. It wasn't even nothing sunny or anything, but the guest of the night came out here and brought that energy way up. So I was feeling a little down, but like, the energy's now is up. That's why I started so strong, because the energy is up. And I promise you guys, you don't want to miss out this episode, man. You don't want to miss out this episode. So we're going to dive right into it, Major.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to add something onto this introduction.
I just can't wait to ask some good questions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially about music, because today is more music, right?
Today is covering the music.
Yeah, I'm ready, man.
Oh, yeah.
Everything is prepared.
Oh, yes. Yeah. And talking about music, you know what it is, man. She is Nigerian born. You know what I'm saying? She got the sauce up in the Nigeria. We kept bringing the Nigerians out here. So
I told you last time that I'm heading west right now, right? Very soon I'll be a Nigerian.
That's what I'm
preparing.
saying.
There's only one thing that I'm still trying to figure out.
Yeah.
How to live with it.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that later. But
I mean, we love everything that Nigerian people are doing, man, for music.
Yeah.
So it's definitely going up. And today we are blessed to have, of course, one of the most talented Nigerian vocalists, you know what I'm saying, who spent all our years, a musician. You know, I mean, she's going to be out here today explaining everything, diving into it. And you guys can meet her, you know what I'm saying. I'm going to introduce to you guys. Right now, we're introduced to my guest of tonight, Faye. Welcome to the View.
What is up, you guys?
What is up?
I'm so happy to be here.
Welcome.
This is so dope.
You look great, first of all. Just want to say,
Thank
I
you.
like the green. Y'all noticed the green hat over here? We didn't plan this, by the way. Hey.
You know what I mean? Great minds.
Great mind.
You know
he came on surprise out here. I'm from the explanation.
Even your pen, man.
Hey, come on now. Hey, zoom on this thing right now.
You didn't plan
The
this?
vibes, alignment. That's what I call alignment.
If you guys don't think it's gonna be a great episode, it's gonna be a great episode, man. But hey, Faye, welcome to the show. We're absolutely happy to have you here.
Thank you.
You know, we're gonna dive into it very, very slowly. First, we're gonna
much.
try to get to know you a little bit. You know, just your background a little bit, and born, of course, and where and how long you've been in Vancouver for. Just give us a little something sauce there to begin with.
Okay, well, so I was born in Nigeria, right? And people don't usually know what tribe I'm from because they say like I look East African, like I don't look Nigerian. But
I can tell.
you can tell.
Yeah, I can tell why.
Why people
He's very good at that.
I was gonna say you out here reading me like that's so cool. But yeah, so I was born there, born in Abuja, and then I came to Canada 2011. Yeah.
That's when you came to Canada,
Yeah.
So you spent most of your time in Nigeria. Like,
Well, I spent like a predominant amount of time. Like I was there enough to like learn a little bit of pidgin, not even a little bit. I learned pidgin, and just moved all over Nigeria, and then I came here. So throughout like high school and stuff like that, I was in Vancouver.
Wow.
Okay, so the music, how did the music come playing? Did you just start in Nigeria when you started playing music? Because I know that time 2011 was a popping music going on.
Of course.
Inspiring a lot of people.
So the music seed kind of got planted by my dad. My dad is a musician in the city, and ever like since that's what brought him to Canada. So like he just music in our home all the time. And then I started to sing. I just started to watch. He was not the type to teach you. He wasn't gonna teach you what to do. He's like, you're gonna look at me. You're gonna find out.
Yeah.
So started with the piano, but then he made it too military. So then I dropped that piano, and then just kept going for years, sang with choirs in the city, until about 2020. My friends were like, yo, you need to tell people that you sing because you're out here hiding. Like, why are you hiding? And I was like, I guess you're right. Like, let me
The time is the time.
You know what I mean?
Go out
you know
there.
what I mean? Like, so, so I don't know if you know about So Far Sounds, So Far Vancouver, So Far.
I know So Far.
So I started with So Far's about last year.
Yeah. Wow.
Just filmed an audition at ATN Studio actually, and then sent that in. Like it was my first song, and they were like, "Okay, we're booking you next week." And I was like, "Oh, I'm doing this."
Wow.
So I just started performing live.
Good for you. That's crazy.
Yeah, like did that in Toronto, did that in Ottawa, and then I was like, okay, I think this is time that I expand and just evolve to releasing my music because I wanted to reach a bigger crowd, and it was time. It was just ready, you know.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
That's a little something about me.
That's how your introduction. I needed it. That's all we needed out here. You know, Major, talk to me. What's up, man?
Wow. I'm just asking myself, what genre do you do? Like, where do we find you so we can know where to put the source?
I make Afro R&B music, right?
Afro R&B.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I make music that I'm inspired by, right?
Great.
So there's gonna be an element of jazz, an element
Yeah.
of R&B, the Afro beat.
Wow.
So yeah, that's kind
Wow.
of where.
But when your friends told you that it's time people hear your voice, what was the feeling? Because to some people, when you tell them like it's really time people hear your voice, it's like you are killing them forever now, because they get frustrated and like, my voice, I don't love my voice. So how are you telling me to put it out there?
Honestly, during that time, I was aware that they were right, and I was feeling it in my spirit. You know, when certain things that you have it, but then when people echo it, they're like, yo,
Exactly.
you're like, you know what, let me do this, right? That's why it's so important, the people you have around you.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't having people around me that were like, girl, it's gonna be hard. No, like, oh yeah, we know it's gonna be a journey, but bet on yourself. Like, you can do this. And I was like, okay.
So was that usually a big part of what prevented you from actually starting making your own music? Like, just like your voice, accepting your voice, because people, like, some people struggle with that a lot. And I know a few people who like they make music, but like they just like afraid to like take it out there because of what people are gonna feedbacks.
Yeah.
So I want to know how you did, what made you transition to that? Like, what helped you out in that place?
Yeah, I understand you. Yeah, I totally get it. A lot of people have different reasons as why they don't put themselves out there. Honestly, my reason was just a fear of being seen, like just the fear of like, yo, once I do this, like, people are gonna see me, and music is so passionate to me.
Yeah.
Like, music is my baby. So, for real. So I was like, okay, like, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna 100% commit to it, right?
Exactly.
And I had to just get comfortable with being seen, because obviously there's something about me that people need to see.
Man, I like that. It's about the Nigerian fire, though.
It looks like it.
At this point, you gotta be. But
the confidence.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. It's just, like I said, like, there was something that was brewing, and it was bigger than me. Like, it was bigger than me. Like, me releasing my voice to the world was bigger than just me. Like, there were other people that were going to be impacted by that. So it was an understanding and just being like, yo, like, just do it. Like, you got this.
At that time, was there any particular artist like you that in Nigeria, I'd say, no, if you listen to, like, you looked up and be like, I want to make like that. You know, like, which one is inspired?
Inspiration. Yeah.
100% Thames, right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
when Thames came about, I was like, oh my God, like, what was in my head can be alive, like blending that R&B with the Afro beat, keeping it rooted and still the drums, but still having beautiful melodies and being able to stack and just, you know? So that's why I was like, oh, like, I could totally do this. Like, So that's kind of who inspired me the most. And as far as just drive and getting things done, honestly, it would be my father. Like, it's one of those things, like, okay, if you're going to step out and you're going to do something, do it correctly, like, you know, and believe in it. So after that, I was like, okay, like, I got this.
Wow. So, talking of your father, did you guys, I know maybe not now, but in the past, did you have some times that you sit down and talk about music, like,
Yes.
like, just like you know, like how people talk about music. This is how I started. This is what you can do to become big and stuff like that. Have confidence.
So my dad is very hard to impress. Just knowing that, my dad, you can't just impress him, right? So I realized that I had reached a new point in just my artistry when my dad was like, yo, you know what, come, let me, like, I think you got something, like, okay, like, he would be like, you know, I think, like, let me show you, let me tell you how to mentally prepare yourself. Like, you're working in an industry where you not only need people, but you need to learn how to work with people,
that's what I'm
right?
saying. Yeah.
So, and that's, sometimes it's very hard, you know what I mean? Like, especially when you're somebody, like, I'm the oldest daughter, like, I'm very, I can do it by myself. Like, let me handle it. Like, it's like, no, it is business.
It's business.
So, it's like, you know, like, learn how to create relationships, learn how to be yourself authentically in those relationships. And, that was the biggest, like, takeaway he gave me.
That's what I'm saying. But even, like, performing on stage, because the moment you got in here, I'm gonna say the moment you walk in there, just the energy was just different. You know, you know how to present yourself, like, and like that. I'm pretty sure that's like some comes a lot handy when performing on stage, because I know you perform a lot on stage.
Yeah,
that was like the main thing you were doing in that area.
Yeah, I love
know?
live performing. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, if you haven't been to a live performance show, just honestly just go and watch live music, bro. Like live instruments. Like, you can't recreate that. Like, no matter how, like, no matter what you do, like, you can't always recreate the moment. And that's why I love performing, right? And honestly, being able to do that, I think I was very comfortable with the camera. I was very comfortable with people looking at me, and
That's amazing. Though.
well, yeah, it's like a relationship. I like to take big shows and I turn them intimate, because it's like we're just human being to human being, and I'm just sharing my art, you know. So yeah, that's kind of how it became kind of more natural and more comfort on the stage.
Wow.
Yes, Major. Yeah. That's wow. Wow, it is what it is.
That is wow. When something is good, then there's wow.
Thing. So
I want to know, how would you teach somebody who's afraid of performing live? Because so many people really get afraid and frustrated about that. Live performance, they feel like everybody's looking at me now. And then they start hitting, wrong keys and stuff like that.
Honestly, like, not gonna lie, before every stage, before every performance, there's always gonna be nerves, right? Just accepting that and being like, yo, there's always gonna be nerves, right? But I think there's a level that you get to in comfort on the stage where as soon as you get on that stage, it's gone. You know what I mean? So for people to be able to achieve that, it's practice. So perform anywhere. Like, I'm a type of I could be on the bus and I hear something that I like, I will sing it. You know, like, it's just learn, like, practice. It's a muscle. It's a muscle.
I like
so
that.
you just need it. It's just practice. Whether it's in the mirror, whether it's your friends, whether it's you're joining your local choir. Just practice. Practice being able to share with people in that way, especially with music, because that's very vulnerable, right? That's why people get scared. But I would just say practice makes perfect, man. Yeah, it doesn't make perfect; it makes progress for real. Like, you just
makes progress.
Yeah. Did you find it easier, like, that transition from, like, being stage performer to now recording your own music? I'm curious, because I feel like it would be easier, to be honest, because now you have your voice, you found your voice. Because some people, like, go to the studio. I struggle so much to get in the studio and find my own voice. You know, like, that's something I was really struggle. So I was like wondering is that something you faced, or like the stage really prepared you to go into that?
Honestly, like, I'm not gonna lie, it was very hard. It's still very hard. Because remember, like I said, I'm a live performer, right? So I will now get in a studio, and it's kind of like in an enclosed space, and I'm supposed to imagine looking at people and performing with emotion the way that I know that I can do. So sometimes I'll, go to studio sessions and I will sing it, I'll like be doing my thing, but what I get back from that computer is
When
not.
you're here.
I'm like, that's not what y'all heard, right? Because like, especially with producers who work mainly with rappers, right? Or work mainly with people who are not vocalists, right? So there's certain techniques and things that they're used to, whether it's programming, all that jazz, that they just kind of will throw on your voice, and I don't need that.
Are you talking about Autotune right now?
A little bit, like, I'm sure there's other stuff.
Are we talking about Autotune right now?
Hey.
Are we starting about Autotune right now?
Yo, I'm just saying, like, this Autotune, like, it's a tool. So you have to be able to use it well, right? And it switches from each artist, right?
Yeah.
So I think
That's a good one to talk about, though. That's a good one we can talk about,
But so it's still a little bit. I'm learning to be more comfortable in the studio, and I just find little ways and techniques that I can provide that atmosphere for myself.
That's awesome. How many songs have you put out there?
My songs aren't out yet.
Not out there. So y'all need to wait.
Yeah.
I was gonna, we're gonna announce that later on. But obviously, we have a great artist in here. We can already tell, especially with the stage performance. That's huge for me. That's huge. If you have that, you have everything into the tool to just be, a shiner
you
to
think
get
so?
everybody's attention. I feel like definitely, because for me, like, artists is just the performance is what makes them really, just puts them next level.
Right.
It's one thing to record music and just be out there, but when they can really nail it on the stage and actually have that presence, That for me, that's huge.
Performing is so fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I've been performing, like I said, live over for the past like 2 years. And the reason I didn't want to put out right away was because I wanted to, one, find my audience, and I wanted to see what my audience needed, right? So I would write songs and go test them out at shows, different crowds, different things, and I would get feedback and I would get responses and which song people were gravitating to, and it really be the song that you don't put as much effort in that people were like, oh my God, it made me remember my like this, you know?
Yeah.
So so that's kind of why I went like through that route of not releasing right away.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm definitely in the season of releasing.
That's really beautiful though. Major, I don't know if you have any questions. I had one that just came up right away. Please.
I have an entire book.
Excuse me for a moment.
You can go for yours and then I'll come back.
Okay, excuse me. Speaking of crowd, because we've noticed how much the music has changed over the years. Not only in America, but also like in African where like music has just really changed. And how do you think Nigerian music has really changed from before till now, and how does their crowd been able to change and adapt to that?
I think it's awareness, right? So back then, people didn't really know a lot about African culture and just Nigerian music or in general, right? And now people do, right? And that's a huge like factor of that is because of Afro beats and the amazing artists that are pushing it and pushing that narrative, right? So I think back then there were sounds that were very like local in Nigeria and they kind of adhered to that. But then as there are different genres and different things, then I think Nigerians started to fuse fuse the different aspect of it, whether it's jazz or R&B, but while keeping that rooted of the Nigerian like culture, whether it's the drums, the melodies, which kind of made it connect with people who are not in Nigeria more. It made it connect with an international, it was universal, right? So I think that's the biggest change, We definitely don't want it to get too far because we want to stay close. I'm just saying.
That's what I'm saying. But at least we're there though.
I always know, you know what I mean? At least we're there and the world is looking at Africa in a whole different way now.
No, 100%.
Are you feeling as if we're about to lose it? Slowly we are losing the
No, like I mean, of course there's cases like that in every genre, right? Where you kind of stray farther away from the roots and what Afrobeat really like feels like and stuff like that. But there's a huge amount of people keep making sure that you remember. So it's changed incredibly. It's changed incredibly, but still been able to keep the source of Afrobeat, and I love it.
I mean, it's brilliant because, like you mentioned, just the style of it, just twisting a little bit. Like artists like Ira Star and Thames, because they found their own different style now. There's vibing a lot of people outside Africa as well. So that's the beauty about
mixing that R&B vibe there, and with Rema kind of mixing that kind of rock, kind of like this now in his new album. A lot of people were like, "Oh my God!" But I think that's exactly what's made us being able to be universal because we are staying true to our roots, but while implementing like, we can do that.
That answered the question that we had for damn different last episodes.
Really?
We wanted to get that answer right there. You just put it out.
Get some insight. I get you.
You get that.
I get you.
Man, I'm gonna go to you, man.
Yeah, I wanna know. How do you think that you're talking about Nigerian music and how like African music has been able to make it to the biggest level right now? How much credit do you give to the people who are pushing the music right now compared to the internet? Because the question should be, what are they doing that is special right now, that is bigger than what people like Fela Kuti did in the past? Because we had the time that Fela was really shining. But why they didn't make it to that global level like the way, I know Fela was big for sure, we can't deny that. But some of other musicians didn't really get to that level. What do you think artists like Burna Boy, Davido, Thames, are they doing right now that is bigger than what the guys in the past did? Or is it the internet that really helped them to to get that music to that?
That is a very great question, and there's a lot of different layers in there.
Yeah.
The first thing I'll say is I think it's every artist's dream or every like monumental person in any field to want the next generation to surpass them in some way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they ran so we could walk type thing. You know what I mean? So I think that's evolution, and I think that's okay. I think with the issue of why are these people nowadays reaching this new global level
what
of success?
happened that is just like woo.
I think because of social media
Is
and
it
the
the
internet,
internet?
I think people want a personal kind of relationship to artists now. I think what has changed is that it can't just be about the music. I think you've got to connect with the artist itself, right? Like Burna Boy, for example, like any young guy, teenager watching Burna Boy, it was like, I want to chill with Burna Boy.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, oh yeah, he makes great music, but he's also a great personality, right? And we were able to see that because of social media. We're able to kind of have that they didn't really utilize social media like that in those days. They didn't really have it, you know? So I think that's why Afrobeats and like the new age and stuff like that has been able to reach that new level because of social media. There is that gateway to really connect with the audience. And yeah, that's just...
So the real truth is, it's not because the current musician is good, it's because there are tools that help him to be big.
Well,
right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm answering your question as saying it's not that they're better. Yeah. It's not that they're better than Fela Kuti. Most of these artists were inspired by Fela, and you know, I think it's as social media evolves and as just people in general evolve, they require and crave different things, right? So they not only just want to listen to their favorite artist, they want to feel like they can hang with their favorite, they want to connect with their favorite artists, you know what I mean? And social media has played a role in that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, because I feel like there's different category when it comes to like Nigerian or any music for that matter. You know, we're talking about like, let's say for like East Africa, you know, we have like Tanzania who like have diamond platinums now, making music, you know, for like Jason Derulo to be, you know, featuring in it. So, and then there's also another part of them where they just make it traditional. So they keep it traditional. So, and they do have internet as well to go through it.
Yeah.
So, how do you think they should differentiate that? Like, if you want to, because I know there's people who just look for the traditional music only. They don't. Maybe they won't be able to listen to Ira Star, you know, all this everything you're doing. But like, how do you think they should just differentiate that? They should all. Does that represent Nigeria as Nigeria, the music that they're playing right now, or they want to keep more traditional? If you want to keep more traditional, you just stay in that category.
I think I hear what you're saying. So, of course, as Afrobeats and just music evolves, people will. There's some lost things. There's some lost cultures. There's some lost musical style, right? I think people are gonna, at the end of the day, they're gonna gravitate towards what they would like to, right? You know, I still like listening to old school gospel, like, you know, where it's traditional Yoruba, like, you know what I mean? I want that. I seek it, and I will find it, right? So I think that's okay. That even if they're not maybe seen in the same category, in the same stands. I think having those two different worlds, they can coexist, right? So like I said, if a person wants this type of music, they can go get that, and a person wants that, they can go get that.
And what about what would you take about the noises? Let's say, for example, if people want like traditional stuff, but then they see some other people making those, you know, like Rema making like a rock star. Do you think that the people from like really the tribes, they're gonna vibe with that, or like do you think they get losing a little bit of Nigeria from them, or is it just that's how the generation is expanding and things?
I understand.
I know countries are like they don't want to go into that extent because maybe they're afraid they're gonna lose.
Some kind of and I think that's the kind of dangerous game that you play, whether if you're infusing other genres. You want to make sure that the source is still there, and that like you're still rooted in your Afrobeat and stuff like that. And I remember like I saw an interview of Rema saying he said he tries very hard to make sure that's still there, right? So of course, like everybody wants, we're very, especially Nigerians, are very territorial about our culture and all that stuff. So I can understand like people who only listen to traditional music or been engaging in that for a long time be like, no, like these are our roots, like, you know what I mean? But things need to evolve, right? And I don't think that takes away from traditional music. I think it's just it needs to evolve.
Very well said.
Okay, very good.
Very well said. Yes, Major.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring you back to the legendary Autotune.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Okay.
It's the most legendary thing.
Okay.
Tool.
It's about to get fired.
So I'm gonna consider myself as a producer, and you're gonna be the artist, right?
Yes.
You are in the booth singing, and I'm on the other side recording you. Now, here comes the question, because you're going to sing, then you're going to come back to listen, right? Here comes the question for the producer. Do I use Autotune so when she comes to listen, I can impress her? Because I want her to feel as if, okay, I'm working, you know, doing something beautiful, and so she can love the whatever she's doing. Because we don't want you to be frustrated. That's my first question in my mind. Second question, should I put Autotune because she's not getting it? She's out of tune. She doesn't even understand what she's doing right now. So Autotune is gonna help her. Or the other question will be, do I use Autotune just because I have it? You know, just I have access to it. Let me just throw it over there. So now for you as an artist, what's your advice?
Well, I feel like you meet producers who will do all three of those, right? You meet the different types of producers who will just put Autotune because it's there and that's what they know how to do, or just put Autotune because they think it'll sound better. You know what I mean? So my advice to the producer, I'll be the artist.
Yes, you are the artist.
To the producer.
As you come out of the room, you know, there's an expectation.
Yes.
I want to listen to what I recorded. Now, my job is to impress you, is to make you happy.
Yes, I understand.
We should meet at some point, right? So I want to know where we're meeting at.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I get what you mean. Well, like I said, Autotune is a tool, right?
Yeah.
So you have to be able to use it correctly and wisely. If I come out of that booth and I hear no, like, because I feel like with vocalists, Autotune, it kind of it like blurs, you know, like when people use face blur and stuff like that, and they use it a little too much, and you can tell. Like, I feel like it does that to the sound, right? And when, like, for somebody like me, you need to be able to feel the sound. I need to be able to taste it, right? We're human beings, so there'll be different spots where, okay, let's pitch correct this, let's do that, or whatever. But it matters with the producer. They have to be able to have an ear. They have to be able to know what that artist needs in the moment. Because there's some people who, yes, they need that auto-tune and it will sound fire. No, hey, do what you gotta do. But there's some people who, no, you don't necessarily need the auto-tune. What you need to do, it's a bit more intricate work. You need to go in and find the parts and that, you know, was a bit flat and maybe, you know, like it's a little bit more attention to detail. So I would ask the producer, are you ready? Are you ready to really do this with me? Because like, it just, it's a tool. You need to know how to use it.
Good.
Right.
Then my next concern would be,
no, go ahead. That was good.
This is so jokes. I'm having so much fun.
That was nice. That was a good one.
The good thing is we have the artists in the room, right? And we are trying to consider ourselves as producers.
Yes.
So we can get to clear some of these things, right? My next concern will be, not every artist, but some artists shy away from accepting that the auto-tune should be on their vocals. You know, why? Because maybe they feel like, okay, auto-tune means you are helping me to sing, right? It's like you're slapping me in the face saying, you're not good enough, so I'm putting this so I can make you sound better. But as soon as they leave the room, we apply that thing, and then they'll listen to the mix later. They'll be like, "Yeah, I like it. I dig it." Right?
I get it.
Do you think the producer should be mature enough to calculate all these things so that they can enter into the psychology of the artist. Because some musicians will say no to Autotune, not because they don't need it. It's just because they don't want to hear that name Autotune. Because of the connotation that's behind that thing.
I get it. No, I get it.
They will tell you, this is what they'll tell you. Hey, Major, can you do your magic? Can you just do some magic?
Yeah.
And just make it sound.
Yeah,
I get
sound
it.
better.
I really do get it. And honestly, like, no, like I said, Autotune is a tool. So sometimes you need to use it, right?
Yeah.
It's just knowing how to use it. And like, you don't do anything alone, right? So there needs to be other parts of it that can help you, right? So if somebody's feeling like, oh, I'm in the studio, the biggest, Beyonce uses a little bit of Autotune.
Right,
like, it's just, it's a record, right? So there's a certain way that it will sound, just like it needs to get mixed.
Right.
It's part of the process, right? But the part where we'll have a problem if me singing live right now sounds better than what I'm hearing from the like computer.
Don't
you know what I
think
mean?
That's just like a psychological shift? Because when it's in the studio,
Go on.
you know, here's one thing about live.
Yeah.
When you're singing live, you are with the people in front of you.
Right.
Right? You're doing the job. You're delivering for them.
Exactly.
When you're in the studio, you're just you and one person, the producer, or maybe somebody who came with you in the studio. Now, that can shift the mind of the artist. I've recorded musicians who will tell you to turn off the lights before they sing.
Yeah.
And that's how they feel like they're in their zone,
gonna
right?
set the atmosphere.
I want to be in that zone.
Yeah.
They don't like the lights because they think everybody's seeing them. But when they're live, we're really fire. You know, they're very good. So don't you think it's just a mind shift that maybe some musicians should learn how to bring that fire from the live spirit when they're recording live to the studio, and things will be much better and better with experience too?
No, I think that there is some ground for that, for real. Because how you will sing live is different from how you would do in a recording studio. I believe so. I think there are different techniques and different just components that you need to do. Like, they're just different, right? So I just think, hey, like, some people, if they're not ready to accept that, they might need a little auto-tune, like da-da-da-da-da. Like, but it can be a situation where it's like, I'm listening, like I'm not saying I'm singing live. Like, we're in the room together, and me just doing a little 1-2 run, a little 1-2 thing, you can hear it. Versus when like it's auto, you got to know how to use it correctly.
That's the thing.
Like,
You're
that's
right,
really
Brenda.
just what it is, to be honest. And I think there's just a lot of producers out there that just don't know that. And that's okay, you know, we love a learning progress.
Pure Autotune.
Like, you know what I mean?
But my question to you comes to, like, do you really believe, do you think, in your opinion, it's making a lot of artists lazier?
What, being able to use autotune?
Well, they know they can rely on autotune, so it's now working on their voice is not really a priority anymore. So they go to the studio, this guy got me. Maybe I'll put some autotune nice in there. I got it. It's all good.
Well,
do you think it's happening and it's only gonna get worse as the generation continue?
I think that people are realizing that they have this system that they can work with, right? And so the way that they want to use that is to their own discretion, right? Yeah. So whether it's making people lazy, I think there are other components of the music business that are making people lazy. I don't know if autotune is the biggest factor. I definitely
go on. We need to dive into that. We gotta dive into that.
But I do think that like, if people know that they have this crutch and this support somewhere, they'll lean on it, especially if you need it and you need it to that degree, right? So some people only need crutches when they're crossing a bridge, right? Some people need it just to like from now A to B, you know what I mean? So hey, I mean, it's a tool, use it.
Go
ahead if it works for you.
But when it comes to live performances, how do we deal with that? When it comes to live, because other people do carry autotune live performance as well.
Really, like in the mic? I think you can tell. Can't you? You can tell when somebody's heavily just relying on autotune, and especially when live performing, right? So it's just like, hey, like, I guess you were not prepared. Like, I don't know what to tell you, but I think it's people are aware of it, and they can use it if they want to.
Yeah. But because like you mentioned, some people don't like using Autotune at all. So my question to you, do you think that people now are looking to like Autotune, okay, it sounds really good, and they're low-key forgetting about musicians who actually have talented voice, and they don't want to use it, and they're forgetting about this, even though they work so hard on their voice, on their vocals. Do you think that it's a little more disrespect that they're taking more nowadays than...
Well, like, even the best vocalists in the world, when you're on stage, like, even if it's not, like, full auto-tune, like, there's a little bit of reverb, there's a little bit of something, just because you're in a space, like, you need to be able to reach the back of the room. Like, for sure, like, I think that's understandable, right? I think it's just when people overdo it, then it's like...
It's disrespect.
It's like, oh my God. Like, you didn't hear, like, imagine you singing a run that has... It's about 8 notes, right? And you put auto-tune on it and you're hearing 2. Imagine, like, that breaks my heart. It's like, you didn't even hear what I want. You didn't even hear it. But, like I said, you gotta know when to use it.
I have a short question for you. This one to finish with auto-tune. I promise you.
That's a funny one.
Yeah, because people love auto-tune. Here's one question. Do you prefer going to a show and the artist comes on stage and everything has been pre-recorded and they just perform with whatever that's been pre-recorded, maybe they're just adding some BGs, back vocals on stage, or maybe he's just talking on top of something, but everything else has been pre-recorded, and that's doable right now. Or a guy who says, just like Fally Ipupa walked on TV and say, I'm introducing Autotune, and in 5 years from now, everybody will be using that on stage just like I'm introducing it. And they use Autotune on stage just to help themselves because they realize it's really hard to sound like a studio. And once people pay their money, they pay their money so they can come and listen to that same quality that they've heard on CD or on whatever, Amazon or Spotify. So who do you prefer to listen to when you walk in a show? Just like a fan.
Well, like, if it's a situation where if you are applying a lot of like instrumental backings and there's other like elements of like the show regarding your voice and stuff like that,
been pre-recorded,
then I would expect other elements of the show to also bring me a good experience. Right? So if you have, like you know what I mean? Whether you're dancing, whether you're doing some crowd work, whether you're making me laugh, at the end of the day, it's an experience, right? So I don't even know if people come to live shows expecting the studio version. I feel like that's, if you wanted the studio version, you just stay home and listen, right? You know what I mean? You want to experience things. You want to show, right? So however that looks like, hey, entertain me.
Do you watch NPR?
Tiny
Desk?
Oh my God, yes.
People really expect you to sound the way we had you sounding in the studio on that show.
Most of them can though. Most of them
Don't
can
start
though.
anything controversial.
No, but for real, but most of them do though. Like they do sound. I don't know if you've listened to the her one, like or Snow Allegra.
She's good.
Like they are vocalists, so they can do this live. Like it's not. It's not for. It's even more. You just feel it more in life, you know?
Those are vocalists.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, other people, like, hey, do what you need to do. But
what do you mean other people?
Like, I don't know. I mainly listen to vocalists.
That's where things come crazy when you rely on Autotune too much. Then you face the difficulties.
You know what I mean? And then, you're the only one that's gonna, really face that. But, like, I think that if you're doing something in the studio, it should be able to be applicable live.
Things can go crazy over there.
Okay.
Really crazy.
Is this like an inside joke? Like, what am I?
No, it's not. It's just because, I don't want to say it out here, man.
Okay, not for y'all.
Some things we can't say on the show, right?
Off air. Oh, but
that's awesome. I wanted to dive into more of your, because I know people who are expecting the music to come out pretty soon. They want to know, we dive into a little bit what style of music you are, but what inspires you to, what you write about, what inspires you go into that, writing phase and your music you want to put out there, the goal behind it?
So there's two different methods to my madness. So I love narratives. I love stories, whether it's my story or somebody else's. So sometimes my writing will take you through somebody's story, right? And that's kind of one section of the way I write. And then another section is, I call it spiritual downloads.
Spiritual downloads.
It's just times where you don't even know where to start, but you're just going.
Oh yeah.
You're just pouring. You're just pouring out. You're just going. It's just flowing. And most of those times are either reminders to myself, or things that I need to hear, right? That spiritual download works for me in that moment, right?
Wow.
And I put it out because I know it'll reach out for somebody else. So those are the kind of two. I like to have fun and, create narratives. And sometimes I'm really telling you something that helped me. And hopefully it helps you too.
Wow.
That's amazing.
When you write, if we go to that spiritual downloads, which is it's a new style. When you write that like that though, are you still able to structure songs like lines, everything like that's just like how you structure a song, getting some rhymes, especially when you are just downloading everything, or you don't care about the structure? Okay, this is gonna be my intro, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge, because everything is just flowing. Do you still have that structure when you do that, or
yeah,
kind of different?
So I'm a freestyler, so I love to especially with melodies. I love just so. Sometimes it just comes I'll know when I need to switch into the pre-chorus, or I'll know when a chorus needs to come, or I know when I need to go into the bridge, right? And there's that, and then there's also the element of I can revisit this, right? So as I'm pouring this out on the pen and paper, it's just out. It's just out, right? I can go back into my notes and I can be like, okay, let's move this around. That kind of work. Or actually, I want a different word for that. Let me go back and let me just see how I could switch this up. So writing songs, it's no one-way method. Everybody kind of has their own style that works for them. Like I have friends who will go in the studio and they would just put it out, boom, words, everything. I can't do that. I love to write, and I like words, and I like simple but effective words. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So sometimes I'll just write the message and then I'll go back in and plan the delivery.
But how do you know that this is really gonna turn into a good song? Because some songs we write, but you feel like, okay, this is, And sometimes you write and say, wow, this is it. How do you get to that moment to say, this is it, and I'm going to take this to the studio? If you can help another writer who's going to be watching you.
Yeah, when I don't get tired of the song, I know it's good.
All right.
So there's certain songs where it needed to be out in that moment, boom, boom, boom. And then I'll sing it again, and I'm like, next. And you know what I mean? But then there's certain songs where no matter what time I'll play it, or no matter how many times I'll listen to it, it's just, you just sing it differently each time, and it just gets better.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing I'm not alone.
So it's just, so that's kind of how I determine. Obviously, I think if you like something, somebody else will like it, right? So if for real, right? So I just kind of, that's just how I work.
So do you record yourself as you're writing, or do you put it on a paper? Is it like your phone, something, or a recorder around you every time?
Yeah. So voice memos need to sponsor me, because voice memos, I have so many voice memos. Like I said, I love to, how I kind of come up with the majority of my song is I'll just play on a beat and let my spirit just do what it do. Right. So that's most of the time you don't want to lose ideas, right? Because don't you have those moments where you had that riff or that melody and then you didn't record it, and then it's it's gone. So I like to keep the voice memos on deck, and then I like to write with a pen and paper though, because if I write on my phone, then I'm gonna be on my phone, and sometimes I get distracted.
Yeah.
So, and that like, cause now I'm on Instagram. I'm like, what? Like, no, let's write this song. So, so yeah, I like to just do that. They work together.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
You mentioned you're a freestyler.
Don't do this to me.
That got to me.
Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me.
Come on now. I'm like looking out here. I'm like thinking. I'm like, I want to hear her sing. I want to hear her voice. Because just your presence, your energy is crazy. People definitely want to hear you.
But that's the point. Gotta wait for
And
me.
you know what, BK? I feel like her voice is warm right now.
It's absolutely.
These people. I mean, hey, like I can do a little science if I need to.
Yeah.
We would love to hear that.
Wow.
Off air, maybe on air, off air.
Thank you so much for doing that. Actually,
No, for
that's
sure.
an
Like
honor
I love
for
to
sure.
sing.
Honestly though, you will be awesome. But like, you know, every time we meet an artist out here, we're always like wondering how, just the music in Vancouver itself. You mentioned you went to Montreal for a bit there.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's a lot more, you know, Black community out there. It's a lot more down there.
Yeah.
But how do you find it over here, the music and Afro world? I know R&B is it will be pretty easier, you know, 'cause people here vibe a lot of R&B. But how do you? What's your take? You think
Honestly,
we can dive with Afrobeat here in Vancouver?
I think Vancouver's growing. You know.
Yeah.
I think Vancouver is that city where in about 2-3 years, it will definitely be in a hot spot, right? Because there's a lot of people who tend to just be like, oh, like there's more in Toronto, there's more in this, there's more on the East Coast, and obviously because
I got a problem with that too.
You know, no, I get it, but it's right. They started later. They started earlier, right? So I feel like in the last 2-3 years, we've just started to see more Black spaces pop up in Vancouver and more musical opportunities and people are starting to know each other now so I think that we're in pretty good standings. I think one of the biggest things that Vancouver is doing now that I think will perpetuate like our trajectory is collaboration. Right? I think that like a lot of different Afro beat or just different artists in Vancouver, they're starting to collaborate and they're starting to see each other and they're starting to understand that like we're all in this together, whether it's this person's time or that person's time, like there's that unity and community in supporting Vancouver, right? So I say we're in pretty good standings for real.
Good.
It wasn't like this a couple years ago. A couple years ago, if you played Afrobeat, people would look at you
exactly.
be like. Now, oh my God, I was walking in the mall and I heard. I was like, "Baby, calm down." I said, "Yo, we made it."
You made it out there.
That song is big.
Oh yeah. And we gotta keep it like that too, man. I want everybody out there. I'm challenging you guys, man. Collab a lot more. We want to see Afrobeat popping in Vancouver, man.
Yes, because that's how other people will see us, right?
Exactly.
They'll be like, "Oh, someone's going to Vancouver." Let's tap in, right? That's what happened in Toronto. They supported each other, held Drake up, and now we're like, oh, Drake, Toronto, Canada. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I think that can definitely happen as well here. Yeah. So I have hope.
Wow. We all do have hope.
Good. Yes. As we are preparing for that, I believe in that prophecy. And thank you for bringing it out.
I got you.
Yeah. As we are preparing to get to that moment, the wow moment, what do you think artists should prepare themselves into for music business? Because, we might get there and then you don't know what's going to happen business-wise. Because I don't think everybody understands really music business.
Yeah.
But for you as an artist, how do you think, or what kind of knowledge do you think every artist should have? This is how you sell your music. This is how you get your music to pay you back. It's not just about people uploading it. You should get something in return.
No, 100%.
Exactly.
What do you think we should all learn?
Honestly, I think the people who have the knowledge should keep sharing it. Right? So whether, you're more invested in the music business or you're an A&R or I think that people shouldn't be afraid to share that knowledge because you're right?
Yeah.
It's not just about being a good talent now, right?
Yeah.
There's so many other factors that go into wanting to be an artist, right? So I think most artists, they should either seek that information out, whether it's the, you know, marketing side or the business side, and people who have that knowledge should share it, bro. Like, that's why we have social media, right? Some people gain a lot of marketing tips from online, you know, and that's because people decided to share their knowledge, right? So for as far as getting ourselves prepared for the destination, I think that there should be an emphasis on never of always being able to evolve, right? I feel like some people will get to a point they stop learning anymore about their craft, right? Like they stop, like, oh, like I've been singing for years, like, oh yeah, no, you better go and go that vocal lesson because you have that gift, but you need to be able to nurture it. You need to be able to steward it. Like it's a responsibility, right?
Wow.
So I think that a lot of people should not, like don't ever get to a point where you stop learning about your craft. Like what? Oh my God. That just hurts my heart. Because anything that stops growing is dead, bro. Like, what do you mean? Like, you just seek information, you know, you know that. Oh, yeah, yo, teach me, guy. Teach me how to, you know what I mean? Like,
I like that.
So, I like to keep doing that. Like I said, I've been a vocalist for years, but I stayed being training. I stay, you know, just learning from my friends or learning from people who I know that they have, there's no such like better thing for me than to seeing somebody and admiring them for something that I would like to possess. I'm a type of person where I will knock on door. Like I will go and ask you, hey, how did you do that? Like, tell me. Like I'm never, like I'll never, like, seek and you shall find, for real. Like I'm not gonna be sitting at home and then wanting to, no. So I think that's my biggest advice to artists or just people, like I said, or preparing themselves for that destination, because last we'll reach it, but how are you going to handle yourself within that space? Like, are you going to be able to make a mark there? Are you going to be able to, you know, really solidify yourself in that space? What do you have to offer? What skills do you have? Your person, like there's so many things, and I think people kind of neglect that nowadays, not gonna lie.
But how do you know that your music is protected? Like, at your level, you're already releasing music, right? You have music out there, right?
No, not yet.
Not yet. But how would you know that music, because once it's out of your control, it's all over the place.
Protected in what context? Are you talking about legally, or are you talking about like
how do you know that you still own that music? Well, even when it's on Spotify, it's everywhere, or maybe somebody can take it. You know, if I'm somewhere in South Africa and just use your music, you will never be able to find out. But how do you protect that?
Well, I don't know if you've heard of like SOCAN. Good. So being able to have protection, like with publishing rights or being like as a singer-songwriter, I think that the first step is to just like be a member of SOCAN and just sign up and do that. And then there's that protection legally. If there are other things that, you know, people suggest, then put in the comments.
Oh man,
but
praise the one. That's what I'm talking about, man.
But like that's what I know. Like being able to do that. Like I was kind of wondering your level of protection, because like I mean at the end of the day, like I said, once I've put my music out there, it is out there, right? I can't necessarily see who's watching it. I don't make a decision on who's watch. I've done my part of the job. I've released something to you that I feel like you need. So.
Wow, that's what I needed. I needed to hear that too, man, because I guarantee you, I need to get into that SOCAN. I mean, SOCAN is just, some people get lazy to just, people don't know the importance of actually going to submit your song in SOCAN, because you might lose it, just like you mentioned, Major.
Yeah.
So you just don't own it. If it's not under SOCAN, it's not yours. Yeah. That's the good news, right, SOCAN? If it's not on the list, it's not yours. It's not yours for sure.
Yeah,
it's gone.
It's really going.
Okay, we're gonna take a little something juicy out here, create some crazy. Give me a top 5 artists that's hot right now in Nigeria. And which one would you want to collab with?
Yarden. Yarden is dope. I don't know if you guys know Yarden.
That's always funny.
Yeah. obviously Ira, she's doing her big thing. Fave is also pretty good. Fave is really fire. Boy Breed, they're a pair of twins. Really amazing music. How many was that? Was that full?
That's full.
You can go.
You know
Go on. You look like you know a lot.
As long as you reach 5.
I will always love Tenny. Like, you know, like Tenny is just a voice that, bro, like she's amazing. Like she's just amazing. Who else? Of course, our girl Tyla. She's doing her big one.
Dope,
Yeah, that's kind of off the top of my head. I'm sure
Wait,
that.
Tyler is Nigerian?
No. I thought you meant Africa.
Afrobeat.
Oh,
okay.
You want to just Nigerian people?
No, just Afro.
Okay.
Afro.
Like
Okay.
Afro.
Because
Okay,
I was
yeah.
like,
Did I say Nigerian?
Like no, it's just.
I said Nigerian.
South African.
Hey, that's all me. That's all me right there. That's all me.
But yeah. So and then I'm sure there's like so much more.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. Rema is good.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, all the greats, Burna Boy, Wizkid, like they've really paved the way.
Do you have the top, like your favorite top?
My top?
Yeah.
You know, bro,
Thames.
I don't actually.
Gotta be Thames.
The reason I don't is because there's different parts of people that I really like. Like
True.
it's so hard to just.
You
pick
learn from
one.
every one of them.
You
too.
know what I mean? Like so, yeah. Like I really don't have a number one. I'm sorry.
Yeah. We're gonna wait till she drops her songs. Do you have any plans when you're gonna drop it or when it's coming?
So yeah, definitely before the end of this year. November is the month that I really want to like kind of do that.
Awesome.
But up until then, you know, you can catch me on the social medias.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
I was about to go there too.
Yeah, like I always put out like on my TikTok, I'll put out little like videos and stuff like that.
Wow.
And that's so honest. That's what I was talking about. Remember the thing, the personnel thing, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm seeing a lot of people now, like as my TikTok is like growing, it's like, yo, like they're messing with me as a person, right? They're messing with like Faye, right? And they're not, I guess, they're not immediately gravitating to like, oh, my music, right? They'll be like, oh yeah, she has a new like cool voice, but she's also this and she's also like a girl next door, like, you know, we can hang out. And I think that it just gives a little bit of like context to my music, right? So yeah. So that's kind of what's in the space for me right now.
Wow.
Major, do you have something to say? Last thing to say.
Are we already at the end? Okay.
We are reaching at the end, but I wanted to shout out. I want to shout out.
I have my few yes or no questions, so we're gonna go for those ones.
Okay. So yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes or no, Nigerians would do anything it takes. Anything. They can even kill, they can even climb the tree just to make it in life, like success. Yes or no?
I think yes. Nigerians are very resilient. They will go through what they need to go through. Do you see the state of Nigeria right now? What do you mean? Like, yo, I remember when I had gone back and I seen like it had flood, right? They had like rain a little bit.
Yeah.
Bro, the next day, little kids were playing in the puddle of flood. You know what I mean? So it's just, I definitely believe that we have that spirit, and we have, not gonna lie, Nigerians have pride, okay? Yeah. So wherever they're gonna go, they're gonna let you know that they're Nigerian, and they're gonna let you know that they're here to stay. So 100%.
100%.
I think so.
Nothing to do about that, man.
Wow.
I think so, man.
That's just what it is.
Come on, Tom.
Come on down.
You see how she does it?
Come on down now.
So, yeah. Yes or no, underground singers never want to hear anything about a contract. Like once the producer says, we got to sign a contract where I'm going to have my royalty and all yours, they shy away from that and they don't want to work with you anymore. Yes or no?
I would say no, because I don't think it's just underground singers.
Okay.
I think it's like people who don't understand that, of course, music is from the heart and you have to have a real talent and a natural ability, but it's also a business. It's an industry, right? So there are many different components of and different players in this field that we don't see. So anybody that's just not exposed or aware of that will shy away from doing anything that feels so much of a commitment or anything that feels like, oh, they may not be in control, you know? This is why I have to read contracts, though.
You have to read the
You
contract.
have to read it. Gotta get your. So yeah, I wouldn't say no. I think that happens, but I wouldn't
Okay.
just say underground singers.
Right.
Yeah.
Some underground singers can understand it, right?
Yeah,
And they can
because
sign it.
because imagine like you're underground, you're not exposed to the world of like it being a business, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it would make sense. It's very understandable that you wouldn't want to. It's art, right? It's that balance. It's like art and a business. It's like it just feels superficial if I just want to make it about business the whole time. That's why I feel like it's good to have a team. It's hard to have a team, but it's really good to have a team of where you can focus on the art and there are other people around you who can help focus on the business side of it because it's necessary.
Good. Two more. Yes or no? Most musicians, when they are beginning their career, they want a manager. Once they make it, they fire the manager. They think he doesn't do anything. You are just behind the computer and think, what are you doing anyways? Yes or no to that?
Hey, like you tell me, like is it really like do people do that? Because I can see why people do that, but it's kind of like, well, hey, see, I can't just, I'm a yapper. I told you, like I have like 3 thoughts that I wanna. I say no.
You get caught.
Okay.
I say no.
Okay.
I say no.
Can you explain to us?
I say no because if that manager, if all they were contributing is, I guess, just in one space, and there's a point you get to where it's like, oh, like I might not need that anymore. Like, I think there's already a issue in that business dynamic. Like for me, a manager is supposed to be like that person that I can trust. Like 100%. Your manager and your hairstylist. Bro, that's people on your team that I can trust wholeheartedly. So there should so there should never be a point where I feel like all you're having to offer me is just like the business. Like I need to be able to call my manager at 2 a.m. and be like, yo, like I'm tired, like this, and then they can, understand me, validate me, and then also like get me back in the direction of where the vision is. So I think you gotta look at those managers that's in your scenario.
But who do you think should get the money first between the artist and the manager? When we are paid, who do you think should receive the money between the artist and the manager?
I think the manager.
The manager should get the money.
Well, the manager will do the business things. Like I said, like me personally, I don't like talking, like make sure the band is paid, make sure the thing is, and then because like I said, I trust you. So there should be, oh, you're going to run away. No, like, I trust you, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so, yeah, I feel like the manager, I will feel like safer. I will feel like more like you're not handing money to me. Like,
So
what?
you do the thing, yeah.
What are you doing?
You pay me. It's yours.
Because most of the time,
Yeah.
when some companies want to make a contract with the artist,
Yeah.
they call the artist, right? Because maybe they know they can manipulate the artist
Exactly.
more than the manager. Because the manager is a business-oriented person.
Exactly.
The artist is there for his, his name.
For the art.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm big now. I'm signed by whatever name.
Yeah.
And then when they pay, they send the money to your account. And once you see that money, you feel like, well, this is a down payment for a house right now.
And then you're having other plans, and then
Of course.
the other components of the team are not
Start
getting
thinking
adequate
about
compensation.
This guy's behind computers all days and think he's the best. He's not doing anything.
No. I think it makes sense for the manager to handle that business side
get
of it
paid,
and
yeah.
to get the payment and
Yeah.
then pay who needs to be paid. Like it's normal, even in the modeling and acting world. The clients don't send me the check; they send it to my agent, and my agent will make sure that okay, this is put for taxes, this is put okay, and then you get like I feel better with having that system. Like I don't feel like I need to be controlling everything. No, take it off my plate. Trust me, like I'm trying to focus on the music, right? So
Wow.
Hey.
The last one, Barak, and then you're
No
going to
worries,
finish
no
your
worries.
show.
okay.
The last one. I promise you this one.
Okay.
Yes or no? The studio microphone is more frustrating for musician than the live performance microphone, which is like a dynamic microphone on stage. But again, the studio microphone makes more artists sound better than the live performance microphone. So musicians should really, really stop frustrating producers. Yes or no, the studio microphone?
I think that, yeah, like they're
yes,
different.
Right?
Yeah, like I would say that people will struggle with the studio mic because you need to sing at a certain point. There's different other things that you have to think about it. Like you can't be like enunciating your words too harshly. Like there's things, so I can get why people get frustrated, but I don't think that really changed anything. Like, to be honest, though,
most musicians sounds better in studio after the product is done. That's why we call it.
Which musician are you dealing with? Because I've met some musicians like
who sound better on stage than
you know Tori Kelly. Do y'all know Tori Kelly?
Okay.
Oh my God, Tori Kelly sounds so much. That's just it. It's the musician, right? And it's the person. That's why I feel like between a producer and an artist, there has to be that connection. There has to be that chemistry, right? Because you're working with my music. Like you need to be able to communicate, and you need to be able to understand like the type of artist I am. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, like they're for different like functions. So I don't know if one is better than the other. They're just for different things.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Cool.
You asked this question. You passed the test. You passed the test.
It was just a yes or no question.
Yeah.
And the people will put some comments. Come after you.
Hey,
no.
Come after me, bro.
No, you guys should stop frustrating producers. They help you. They help you. Look at who this and this and this.
I think Faye is ready. I think she's ready.
You know, I didn't know J-Lo can sing.
Yeah.
She sings now.
Does she?
Apparently she sings now.
Okay,
But
J-Lo.
Mm-hmm.
before I never knew she could sing.
So
she
she's
couldn't
a singer,
sing.
right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think she's like.
She went to Stevie Mikey's.
Really?
For training.
Like she learned how to
sing. Yeah, no, she's a
see
singer.
what I mean? You got the skills. You got to
Yeah.
keep. I applaud that. I respect that.
I never knew she couldn't sing.
Man, we find different things every day. We learn different things every day.
Right.
But look, I'm just so grateful. You know, your energy is unbelievable. I know for sure they look at that too. They see that. You know, you have me cracking here and laughing my. Come on.
That's good.
That's why we like. We do appreciate you, Faye, for stopping by and just chatting with us, man. Giving us good advice, some really good advice out there. So we thank you so much. This is your time, though. We want to make sure you tell them exactly where to find you, because I'm very ready to listen to your music.
Okay.
To listen to you perform. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Yes. So like,
I do have a performance coming up. Can I talk about that?
Yeah.
you can announce that.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Should I go?
You can go next. The
Okay.
camera's right there.
Of course, thank you guys for having me. Like, it's just a great experience. So yeah, you guys, WavyFay on all platforms, Instagram, TikTok, all that jazz. And you can catch me performing, opening for Two-Face on the September 29th of this
He's
month.
coming.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Wow,
he's coming.
I saw the poster somewhere.
See, those are OGs right there.
Yeah, like this is so nostalgic for me. Like, bro, like I'm like, this
That's
is really
really awesome.
happening. You know what I mean? So yeah, you can catch me there. Come get your vibe. I don't know when this is gonna be out, but maybe we can like I would either already perform or perform after. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where you can catch me.
Yeah. When's the date? Did I miss the date?
September 29th.
Tonight.
Yeah.
Also,
The end of this.
Yeah,
we got time.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still
We
have
still
time.
good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Y'all need to make sure to stay ready for that. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's pretty good. That's
Thank
awesome.
you. Thank you so
Really
much.
good news. But yeah, guys, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to miss out on that. She's absolutely, I can guarantee you she's an incredible performer. I don't know it yet, but I can feel the energy.
Thank
You know,
you.
can tell.
So you can tell
so
already.
much.
So thank you guys so much for tuning in, by the way. But thank you, Faye, for
Thank
for
you.
being out here. And don't forget to follow her and follow her journey, man, as we all here. And when she collabed with one of those artists she mentioned out here, no Afro DS will have her
Yes, that's
first. It's right here. We had her first right here. But yeah, we ready to reach the end of the show, man. You guys already know the drill. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna say I'm your host, Baraka. Hey man, it was a sensational episode. On my right side, we got Major McGee, the one
The details.
the detail with all the crazy questions, the hotness. You know what I'm saying? Thank you guys so much. And on my left side, we got the one and only, the guest of tonight, Faye, the most talented Faye. Thank you for being out here. We appreciate you. We can't wait to see you again, actually.
That was actually
absolutely. So let's go out there, man. Don't forget to follow OC Music on Instagram to book your show, to book your spot, so you can come out here and chat with us, man. We are out for this Podcast Nation. We out, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.